from Donald Norman reads, "So what does a good teacher do? They create tension, but just the right amount." Well, my most impactful teacher ever was just that. Mrs. Cunningham was my health, science, and EKG certification teacher from 10th to 12th grade. Her rude, dismissive behavior mixed in with one major but small affirmation turned out to be genius for such a rebellious soul like myself. And I couldn't thank her enough. She was just that teacher that everyone loved, but you hated when you were in grade school. First, I'm going to tell a story about her preventing me from going on the class-wide field trips to the hospital. Then, I'm going to tell you about our life-changing talk. And finally, I will conclude with how this translated in my life. First, we are going to start with her not letting me go on the major hospital trips with the class. Mrs. Cunningham was a stickler when it came to me. All throughout my time in her class, I was constantly picked out to be picked on. She would lock me out for being late and come out after announcement to ask me why I was late. We would often bicker back and forth with one another, which landed me in the dean's office a lot. But this one particular incident hit home for me. The day was when she decided to take me in the back room to tell me I couldn't go on the trips to the hospital because of my seizures. She said it was in a very condescending way, which crushed me even more. I had waited 4 years for these trips, but after I went to the bathroom and cried a little, I knew I would never again let my condition limit me. I was now able to turn that pain into strength. That was all the motivation that I needed to become relentless. Next, I'm going to tell the story about the life-changing talk me and her had. It was the third semester in my 11th grade year. My grades were horrendous. All the semesters before, my parents didn't care about my behavior in school because I was so sick with seizures, and neither did my other teachers. But Mrs. Cunningham stepped in and told me in that same back room that I would never become the doctor I wanted to be or even get a good job. This set the tone for the rest of the grading period. I was a machine when it came to schoolwork with no sleep. I was determined to prove her wrong. So when our report cards came out and I realized I had made all A's for the first time in my life. Apparently she knew this as well and took me to that same notorious back room to say, "Your efforts have not been ignored. Good work." That rare compliment built a lion-like confidence in me that has remained untamed. In conclusion, tough love hits the brain harder than anything else. Mrs. Cunningham not letting me go on the trips to the hospital and her giving me the talk of my life helped motivate me, strengthen me, and give me untamed confidence. And I would like to thank her for everything. Although I was smart, I was a difficult child in school. I felt like the world revolved around me and people fed into that, which led me to a 1.8 GPA. But in the end, I ended high school with honors, all thanks to Mrs. Cunningham. Truly, truly, I want to thank you, Mrs. Cunningham.